Hi, welcome to Bay's Creative and Public Relations YouTube channel. My name is Bailey Floyd and I am so excited you're here today. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to create a social media content calendar. I have been a social media manager for so many companies. I've worked at an agency and I have run over 30 accounts, up to 15 at one time. So trust me, I understand your struggles and I have used every app. I have tried every method and I have finally found something that works for me, so I want to share it with you. So I'm going to take you through the process. How I start off every social media calendar is on Airtable. If you don't use Airtable, haven't heard of Airtable, do not fret. I have been in this industry for nearly 10 years and I just learned about it probably 2-3 months ago. And so pretty much it is an advanced Excel sheet that all interconnects with each other. So when I start any social media strategy, I create this whole style guide tab within my social media base on Airtable. So I'll start with my colors. I'll insert all my brand colors here. I'll attach the color image and then the hex code number, because I'm not designing it. If I have someone else on my team designing it, it's just easy for them to come in here, access the hex code to use on Canva, which is where I design a lot of my social media graphics. And then I will insert the fonts. Again, attachments, I'll leave notes. Is this a header font? Is this a subtitle font? Should this only be used in certain instances? I have my layout in here, which is posts that I schedule on a consistent basis. So if every Friday I want a Fun Friday post to go out, or the last Tuesday of every month I want to share the books I've been reading, I'll consistently keep them in here so I can reference them at the beginning of every month when I'm creating the social media calendar for the following month. And then last, within the style guide, I like to just lay out all my content buckets. If you haven't taken the time to learn what content buckets you should be posting for your social media, please just take 30 minutes. It is such a game changer, I promise you. So a content bucket is just really sitting down and looking at what things should I be posting within my Instagram account. So for instance, I'm a PR company. My content buckets are about me. I have another content bucket that's my work and client features. I have a team. I have PR tips, social media tips, and then just fun, creative stuff, whether that's entrepreneur or National Margarita Day. Your girl loves herself some tequila. I kind of have laid all of this out. Then I have created another social content calendar tab in here. Airtable is super special in regards to everything just really interconnects and it makes your life so much easier. What I do from here is I create 3 tabs on the left. We have our content ideas. So these are any ideas I have throughout the month. So I am such like a nerd that when I'm driving, when I'm on a run, I always get my best ideas. So whenever it pops in my head, I'll email myself, I'll text myself, and I'll come in here and I will add some features. So I'll just, for instance, we got October 31st, it's Halloween. Again, I am a publicist and social media strategist. So I'll say PR tip. And what I can do is I have this organized into name, image and video, caption, the channel I want it to go live on. So if you see in here, I've already laid out Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram story, and reel. Please note that you do not need all of these things. You really should focus on where your audience is at on your social media platforms, and then go from there. And then any notes. So if I had an idea, if it's like team spotlight and I want us to be throwing confetti, I'll just put over in the notes so I remember when I'm going back to schedule throwing confetti. And then I have my content bucket. So for this one, I would say team spotlight. So that would be Bay and team. And then if I've seen something that I'm like, oh, that would be awesome. You do not copy anyone's work. It's all your own. But if you have inspiration of, oh, that's a cool idea, I think we could do something like this, I'll put the link in there so I can always reference it at a later date. So once I have all my ideas laid out in here, then I will go over to my calendar. The week before every month is when I plan out my calendar for the next month. Just a really big believer in batch creating. And so I'm also very visual. So I love to start with just a blank calendar like this. So you can do one of two things. You can go back to your style guide, and over here when you had your layout, and so I had used the example of every Friday is a fun Friday. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say Fun Friday feature. So I'm going to go through and add that to every Friday. And then say every Monday I want a motivational quote to go out. I'm just a big believer in starting your week off on a positive note, especially after a long weekend. So from here, say I'm stuck with ideas, I don't know what to do, then I will click Find My Records. And over here, all my content ideas, normally there will be so much more than this. It's just an example. And then I can drag and drop this into the rest of my calendar where there's space. So I can add my team spotlight. And the moment you drag a content idea out of this side, it's going to remove it from your content ideas so you don't ever schedule it again for a later date, and it's going to add it to your October calendar. So it's all super, super easy, good flow with an Airtable on how you set it up. And so then we got Halloween. We'll throw in some PR tips, different ideas for Instagram. Typically like to post every 2 or 3 days, my personal, just keep it consistent and so my audience knows when to expect my content. So wherever I see a few gaps in here, I may go ahead and fill it in. Once I have my complete calendar fleshed out, I'm going to hit October calendar. And so this now has all my dates. I don't have to worry about any awkward spacing, having missed any dates, because I can visually see where everything is going live here. And now I can go in, I can start adding in my videos, I can start adding in captions. Again, my channel, I can make sure I'm really highlighting where it's going to go live on what channels, because some things are meant for Facebook and LinkedIn may not always be meant for Instagram. It really just depends on the content. When it's all ready to be approved, I will go out and hit plans. And then with my full calendar, I can send that over to a client and they can approve it. And then once it's approved, I can go ahead and schedule it. The way that I get it to move from content ideas to October calendars is using Airtable's filtered by date. And so when you're on your content ideas, you don't necessarily know what day it's going to go live yet. If you just come up here and go filtered by date, you're going to add a condition. You're going to drop in the date. You're going to go down to when the date is empty and then just hit OK. So this is going to show you anything that has not yet been scheduled. Then when you're creating a new calendar, you can just duplicate your view. And so for instance, I'm going to name this the November calendar. And I'm going to go filter it by date. So you're going to say where the date is after the exact date. So where the date is after November 1st. And then you're going to add the condition. The date is before the end of the month. So that would be November 30th. It's telling the program anything I put in this calendar when I'm laying it out, it's going to only pull the things between November 1st and November 30th. And then as I'm adding things to the calendar, just do a few tests. It's going to populate within my November calendar. So super straightforward. I've tried a million different ways. This is the easiest way to use with a client. I'll go ahead and show you my own personal board. Just to show you what a more thorough board can look like, These are some just content ideas that I have for my upcoming social media calendar. I was taking a PR course the other day, and they were giving some great content piece for a good trend story, what makes something newsworthy. So I went ahead and added it in here, what was top of mind, and so I won't forget it in the future for November when I'm going to schedule my stuff, create my content, I'm sorry. And so I even left notes. You can see I have the stuff that's gone posted. I have what it went live on, what I was looking at, and I've started putting even a few captions in here. And if you look at my calendar, you can tell it's pretty full. I may not be posting on Twitter or Instagram every single day, but I'm at least hitting my audience on a different platform every single day, which I think is super important. It's definitely quality over quantity and just really pushing out valuable content that your audience needs. When it comes to Canva can be super helpful in creating graphics. I use it for Instagram stories. I use it for even just inspiration. Sometimes if I kind of feel stuck with, it's something that is not necessarily a photo of myself or my business, but more like a template, I'll just hop in here and peek around. The pro version, but the free version is also just as wonderful. I just wanted to have all my company brand stuff since I have a lot of hands on a lot of different aspects of my own social media now that I'm building my team. But you can kind of scroll through here. You can pick something that works great for your brand. Like I said, I have all my fonts already uploaded, so I can just put in my branded fonts, switch this over to my paragraph font, and then even my branded colors. You can see that my base color palette is in here, so I don't even have to reference that style guide that I showed you in Airtable because it's already right here. And I can change it out. So base social media package. Just download it and then I can upload it to my social media. I am definitely very well inept in all of Adobe Premiere, but I know that that's a skill that takes a lot of time to learn. And so for any of you new beginners, even experienced beginners, I still hop on here just because it's so quick, easy, and there's some really cute templates. I literally was just working on one to introduce my latest team member earlier today, and just some really fun things, even like the self-care bingo. Just something that if you feel stuck, it can spark some creativity. Once I have everything laid out on Airtable, I have all my captions filled in, I will then go ahead, if it's my own, go ahead and schedule it. I personally use Later. You can schedule everything from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's all in one. But for those of you who don't want to be spending the extra dollars, Facebook, and just in the last few weeks has released their content creator scheduling platform, and it is in their business feed, and it's actually really decent. You even have the feed preview, you can schedule stories, you can only schedule Facebook and Instagram, but it's a really great tool, and I highly recommend it for those of you who aren't quite ready to maybe make the investment into something like Later. Once your stuff is scheduled, it's really nice whether you're using the Facebook platform, Later. A lot of platforms do have this feed preview, so you can really make sure that all your content looks cohesive, like you're one brand, that you're not using crazy colors or one photo doesn't just like stick out among the rest, just ruining your whole aesthetic of the feed. I know a lot of people say that feed aesthetic doesn't matter, but I am just not a big believer in that. I will not follow a page if I look at it and it just looks like a complete mess. And so it's just a really nice feed preview to look at everything that you've been laying out and see how it looks all together. Once it's scheduled, it's awesome. You just wait for it to go live. Just make sure that once you have your stuff scheduled, you're just not setting it and forgetting it. Just making sure whatever platform you're using that you're responding to comments, you're liking, you're authentically engaging with people, because that's just how you're growing your brand and your business and your personality. Like, people want to hear from you. They're following you for a reason. There is so much I can cover within Airtable and with my social media calendar. If I missed something, if you want me to elaborate on something, please leave it in the comments. I'm more than happy to do another video. I just don't want to bore you too much on all the little details. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'm going to be releasing weekly updates on design, public relations, and social media tips. So stay tuned.